بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وسيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم افتح علينا فتحا مبينا اللهم افتح علينا فتحا مبينا وارزقنا رزقا مباركا كريما وادخلنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, may the peace and blessings of Allah Azza wa Jalla be upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and upon all of those who follow in His footsteps. Dear brothers, dear sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. So inshallah today we resume with yet another name of Allah Azza wa Jal. And today's name is a name that, just as the rest of the names of Allah Azza wa Jal, is a name that inshallah inspires hope and real affection for Allah Azza wa Jal. It's a name that hopefully can wash away the common fears that we have. The common fears that paralyze us in this life as we long for openings in our lives, as we look for those opportunities to turn our lives around. I always emphasize, brothers and sisters, that the most tragic thing for the human being is to be blind, to be in a state of unawareness of what it is that can deliver us from problems and from our struggles, right? It doesn't take much for the heart to struggle. We know it. Our moods flip in a second. Instant, our moods flip. In an instance, we see our health making a turn from good to bad, right? In an instance, you can get into a car accident. In an instance, you can see somebody dying. We see manifestations of abrupt changes physically and metaphysically, right? All the time around us. And these are all signs. But imagine if you had no meaning, no connection with Allah, right? Imagine if Allah is not in our lives. Imagine if there's no such concept as hereafter. Well, how do you derive meaning? What does everything mean? How do you cope with it? Where do you find the healing, the solutions? Do you notice we're always scrambling to feel better, to find contentment? We latch onto experiences, we latch onto people, we extend our hopes in life. We're always, even if we're struggling, sometimes we think, okay, but I'm in the midst of this, but one day it'll work out. One day if such and such happens, my life will turn around. We're always seeking ways and means to get out of our own struggles. The problem is, brothers and sisters, and the tragic thing is when we're seeking the wrong means. Biggest deception on this earth. The biggest deception that shaitan can pull on us is to make us chase after the wrong means to get something that is so abundantly accessible, but only from Allah Azza wa Jalla. So all along, the ultimate lesson of life and the ultimate lesson behind all the names of Allah is for Allah Azza wa Jalla to tell all of us, brothers. This is the ultimate lesson. Pay attention to it. You have no way but through me and with me. And when you find me, you found everything. Go out and search. Go try. You're going to get tired. You're going to be like that beast in a forest or in a jungle chasing after something, a prey that it will never get. And it'll get tired at the end. It'll get exhausted. And it'll be sad at the end. And it'll never get hungry. But when you find Allah, brothers and sisters, you found everything. Your soul had found its resting place. The only one that can fulfill our hopes, yearnings. Definitively deliver that peace, what we spoke about last time, as-salam. We're always looking for peace and contentment. Who delivers it? He called himself as-salam. He says you will not find that peace physically, as we've demonstrated with the science, how he equips us with the tools and the organs and the mechanisms within us and outside of us to literally protect us from harm. We spoke about, remember last time, how we spoke about our skin, our brains, how the brains are protected, the clouds that deliver the rain and the water. All kinds of mechanisms all around us, even the insects and the microbes, have a purpose. Really, without them, the entire ecosystem is run out of whack, right? It's all for your protection. But how about spiritually? He delivers to us the tools to ensure our protection spiritually. So there's one way to Allah, brothers and sisters. And there's no other way to make us happy and content but Allah. And all the names are presenting to you various aspects of it to make you fall in love with Allah. Wallahi. to literally allow you to walk in this life knowing Allah is next to you. I don't need to be afraid. I don't need to be seeking confirmations from others, from circumstances, from external factors, from people's opinions, from my degree and my what I do in this life, or from my possessions, right? None of these things are the things that make a difference. And it's not the conditions of my life. I am Allah's subject. And when I'm with Allah, I have nothing to be afraid of. He took care of me from the moment I was in my mom's womb. Right? You have to worry when you were in your mom's womb? You never had to worry. You were delivered. And He brought you into this world for a reason. And believe me, once Allah decides to bring you into this world, to bring you along in the journey, how is that going to be bad? He made the decision. Think about it. It's like, you know when somebody makes a decision, you always question. It's like, or you question yourself, did I make the right decision? Did I make the wrong decision? We always question ourselves because we don't trust ourselves. Our minds, you think about it, if you really fully rely on your mind will mess you up in life. But even if we have sought like the solid means and did our research and homework to research something we don't know much about, we're still questioning our decisions. And we're very happy when we make good decisions in life. And we're very devastated when we make bad decisions. And people remind you, oh, you screwed that one up. You shouldn't have decided that way. You should have consulted. What are we saying when we question Allah's creation of us? You. Don't think about this. You. He made you. He decided, I'm going to have Muhammad when I was on this earth. He actually decided that you, individually, going to be a creature on this earth. Once upon a time you were nothing. And He put you on this earth. It's a decision. Are you thinking Allah kind of messed up that decision? He didn't know any better? It's like, like our decisions? How can that be? Allah made the decision to make you exist, not just for purpose for you. No, He had the best plan for you. And He created you to be happy. If you were just to know. Because otherwise we're questioning His decision and we're doubting Allah's decision as if He has no wisdom. Allah's wisdom, if we're to see it behind our creation, we'll be very happy. We'll be like, Alhamdulillah, Allah created me. Sometimes we wish Allah didn't create us out of the problems that we face. Like, I wish I wasn't here. But if you were to know what Allah has in store for you, if you were to know the amount of joy your soul will feel once you find Allah, you'll be saying, Alhamdulillah, that I am Allah's subject. Alhamdulillah, Allah put me in this. Alhamdulillah, Allah created me. Allow me to be. I'm so precious then. Very simple, brothers and sisters. Today we're going to discover another quality of Allah. And bear in mind, all the names of Allah are packaged for you. Allah saying to you, get to know me through this quality. This quality is for you. For your own satisfaction. You have needs. The biggest problem in life, brothers and sisters, is that when we have needs and we go fulfill them from the wrong place. Allah says the satisfier of all of your needs is Allah and none but Allah. The rest of creation are shadows. They're shadows. They don't mean anything. Because they're moved by Allah. Allah says to the thing, be and it is. So what is this quality that we're talking about? It's a quality, dear brothers and sisters, that by Allah, inshallah, if you have it pinned in your heart, and if you see it all the time, you're going to go to Allah for everything. And you're going to be full of hope that nothing, inshallah, no problem is too difficult that Allah cannot overcome for you. Whether it's a physical problem or a spiritual or an emotional problem. Today's name is Al-Fattah. Al-Fattah. What does it mean? The opener. If you just translate the word, it's from Fataha. Fataha means to open. But I want to, before even we begin with definitions and examples, illustrations, lessons, when I speak of Fataha, what springs to mind? Open. What's the first instant? Picture. I say open. What is it? Yeah, I know. It's a good example. Alhamdulillah. But I'm thinking, I'm talking like physically speaking. When I say Fatah, what do you think about?
A door.
Exactly. So something that is what?
A jar.
A jar or?
Turning the knob.
Exactly. Because it was? It was closed, right? A door, right, indicating that something, it's an enclosed space or a closed box or something closed and you need to open it. Brothers and sisters, Allah is sending a message to all of us. Our entire lives on this earth, it's a journey of going through closures, doors. They're physical doors or barriers, and they're metaphysical or abstract doors or barriers. And we typically speak of closures when we speak of problems, isn't it true? We need an opening for this. We don't use that word or expression. We need to open this. Open what? Well, let's think of physical problems. Literally, when we're in a real serious problem, like we need relief. I'm poor and I need money. It's really, if you think about it metaphorically, it's a closure that you need an opening for. And once you have the wealth or the money, it's an opening, right? Isn't it true? I'm married, I want to get married. It's a closure, and I want a solution and relief for it. I need to find a spouse. Once I found the spouse, it's an opening for that problem. Health, illness, you're ill. It's a closure. And I need someone to open that for me. Once you find healing and a cure, it's an opening for you. So, lack of rain. Rain pours. It's an opening. Literally, the cloud opens. SubhanAllah, in this case, actually. How many cases and instances do we see of actual physical things that are closed being opened up in the realms around us and within us? Infinite, brothers and sisters. Infinite. So Allah is telling you, the only one who can open all the doors is Allah Azza wa Jalla. He is the opener. Al-Fattah. The one who opens the physical and the non-physical. We've talked about physical examples, right, from our lives. How about non-physical examples? Abstract examples. Give me examples of closures that we really need openings for that are non-physical. Give me examples that we're stressed out about. Give me examples. Non-physical or abstract or metaphysical closures that we describe with the word closure and we need an opening for. What is it?
So something bad happens and you don't realize, well, not even bad, you perceive it as bad, and you just can't see past it. You can't see.
So you cannot see actually the essence of it or the wisdom of it. Right. It's close to you. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to figure out the meaning of something. How about that? It's mysterious to you. Right? That's a closure. I don't see it. You're trying to convince somebody of something. I don't see it. I don't see what the purpose of this is. I don't see why I'm going through that. My heart doesn't see it, my mind doesn't get it. I'm confused about it. That's a closure. Doubt. I'm not sure, path A or path B. Isn't that a closure? I don't know. Because I don't see it. Right? Lack of certainty. Doubt. Examples. How about a problem? Just typical math problem. I can't solve it. Right? It's a closure. How about memory shutting down? How much do you, students of physiology, biology here, or history, when you know that the term, and you show up on a test and there's nothing that can open that cell in your brain to allow you to remember the capital of that country, or whatever it is. How many times have you been through this? I can remember them vividly. From days of college, we're I know this, right? Why is my brain shutting down right now and I cannot remember that one word? Closure. Literally, it's a closure. But a non-physical closure, it's in your mind, it's in your intellect. Something shut it down at that point and there's nothing opening it. And no matter how much you try and you squeeze and you think and you bang your head, it might not happen. Or in a flicker, instant second, what can happen? You notice sometimes when the word comes or the memory comes back, it's instantaneous. Well, what is it that brought it back? How about a moment of extreme stress? When you literally feel your heart is constricted, tight. Doesn't it resemble a closure for you? And when you feel better by good news or something, you see someone that makes you happy, you literally feel inshirah, it's called expansion. Don't you feel it? You literally, when you're stressed out, you feel your heart is pounding harder and you literally feel your chest is aching and constricted. It's a closure, brothers and sisters. It's a non-physical closure. Right? But when you feel relieved, how does it feel in your chest? You know how to breathe. Your lungs breathe better. It's an opening. So there are mental blocks, there are spiritual blocks, doubt, stress, anxiety, real problems in life. How about relationships? How often is it that we're talking to somebody and they don't, and there's, we don't seem to be able to arrive at an agreement, and they're upset with us. And no matter what we tell them, they're still upset with us. Isn't that a closure? How often do we talk to our parents and there's nothing on earth that we can say to them that will make them happy with us? And they cannot see our point. Isn't that a closure? Don't you hope for that moment, for an opening in their spirit or in their souls or in their hearts, for them to say, I get what you're saying. I'm sorry. Don't you hope for that? That's a closure that needs an opening. So we've demonstrated physical closures that we deal with, and all of our lives are like this, brothers and sisters. There's no escape. Every single day, from the moment you wake up, you're encountering closures. That's why this name is very significant, because we need it every moment. Physical closures, health, money, problems, bad teachers, exams, job, projects, tasks that are difficult. All are representations of things that are like that locked box that needs a key to open it, to allow you to solve the problem, to overcome it, to overcome the hurdle, to find healing, to find solutions. And then the metaphysical or the abstract or the emotional, the stress and the anxiety and the doubt and the confusion. Seeing, how about the truth? Seeing the truth, believing in it. It's an opening. Don't you see people like, subhanAllah, earth around us, educated and so forth, but they cannot find Allah. And there's nothing that can convince them of this. Isn't that a closure? What is it that made you believe and not them? It's an opening in the heart. But who ultimately is the one who opens all these doors? That's the message behind this name. Allah's telling you, Al-Fattah, the opener. You know, as the rest of the names of Allah, what did we learn about them? When Allah declares Himself to be the one doing that thing, what is He saying as well?
He's the best.
The best at it, and the only one. Not only is He the best, not only when He opens something, it's not like me and you open it. No, I can help you out, but it's not like Allah opening, right? And we're going to illustrate this with examples. Allah is the only opener. That's why He calls Himself with Alif Lam, Al-Fattah, the one who opens. And when He opens, His openings are not like the openings of any creature. For every creature is a creature of Allah Azza wa Jalla, ultimately, right? So He is the source of opening every door. And He's the only one who can open all the locked doors. All the knots, He can untie them. Literally, this name is saying, for you to think that there is a problem or there is a closure that cannot be opened for Allah is lack of belief in Allah. Not understanding what Al-Fattah is about. So imagine you're in the middle of a problem. You're stressed out about it. For you to lose hope that this can be untied is to be not connected with the name Al-Fattah. So imagine if this name springs to your mind every time, Al-Fattah. Literally, brothers and sisters, instant relief in your chest. That, no, I'm with Al-Fattah, He's walking with me. He's testing me, sure. It has a duration, but there has to be an opening at the end. And perhaps the spiritual openings that will happen in my soul and my heart are far more significant than the physical openings. Is it true? How many people are poor, brothers and sisters? They don't complain, they're happy. And how many wealthy people who have all the means and they're struggling emotionally, locked up emotionally. There's no opening. So it's not about the physical openings. What's most significant is the spiritual openings. Allah's putting us through this journey to open the soul and the hearts. So it doesn't matter what we have. If we have emotional and spiritual closures, we're as good as dead. So Allah, by this name, is telling to all of us, I can open, I can overcome, literally open them, as if they're locked up. All the physical barriers and the abstract barriers, with all the examples that we have mentioned. Another significant thing is that when Allah opens something, like I can open the door, so as I said, it's a jar, I can try to open it, but somebody's on the other side trying to push it the other direction. Can I open it? And they happen to be stronger than me. I can't open it. It's a very simple example. So sometimes, don't you notice in life somebody tries to solve a problem, somebody else comes in actually, to undo whatever they've done? Like, why are you trying to mess it up? Like, they're trying to solve the problem here. Say, well, I try my best, but, I try to talk to the teacher. I try to really suggest things, but somebody else came and told them another story and convinced them otherwise. How often does that happen? When we really have a means with somebody, but somebody else comes and messes it up. What happened at that point is somebody prevailed over you. So somebody tried to open a door, but somebody else came and shut it on you. What does Allah tell us? Through Al-Fattah. We're weak. We can open things up to a point. And then we have to contend with the physical forces of this earth and people who really pose all kinds of obstacles for us and try to shut things in our faces. No matter how much help we get from others. Allah says, don't worry. When I open, nobody can what? Close it. There's no such thing as physical force that can stand in front of Allah and say, I'm going to decide to close it, Ya Allah, as you try to open it. None. He declares in the Quran, when I open that door, nobody can close it. And it's not a normal opening. We're going to talk about it. And then when I close the door, nobody can open it. Try to solve that problem. If Allah shuts our brains and our minds and hearts, we can never see the truth. It's an example. He said, go try. Go try. Go debate it. If I close your mind, I'll make you see the truth as falsehood. And don't you see people around us, brothers and sisters, justifying killing, justifying wars? In their own minds, the wars is the right thing to do. What happened in their minds? Twisted logic. Their own minds become their own enemies. How often do people devastate their own lives with their own twisted logic? Marry the wrong person, end up lying and cheating. In their own minds, the shaitan makes it look very attractive. And Allah said, okay, you're to yourself. You're left to your own devices. Totally shut off. You cannot see anymore. So Allah says, if I close something, none can open it. Bring all your forces, none can open it. So what is that telling us? Before we even proceed, look at us, brothers and sisters, scrambling to find openings with people and begging and pleading for an opening in our lives. And Allah says, why are you not looking at Al-Fattah and asking Him? If you were to know that if He opens these doors for you, you will need none but Allah. And you need none but the doors that Allah opens on you or for you. So He declares in the Quran, brothers and sisters, the beautiful verse, وَعِنْدَهُ مَفَاتِحُ الْغَيْبِ لَا يَعْلَمُهَا إِلَّا هُ. He says, not only am I Al-Fattah, but عِنْدَهُ, only with Him. The verse begins with, not the keys are with Him, but it begins with Him are. And in this form, what it says is exclusively with Allah. So what is exclusive with Allah? What possession? Mafatih. What is mafatih? Keys. So Fattah comes from Fataha, open. Key in Arabic is also called muftah or miftah, from the same root, from opener. It literally, the key in Arabic is called opener, right? So he said, with Allah are the keys, the openers to the ghaib, the unknown. But the unknown is not just things that we don't know. Literally, it's also a reference to the treasures. Everything that is beyond us. He says the only one who has the keys to all of them, the treasures of the heavens and the earth, everything that is above you and beyond you, is Allah. Physical and non-physical. So we're seeking the keys from who? Everyone else. Even relying on ourselves to find the keys. Now Allah says you cannot. The keys are all with me. But if I open, floodgates are going to open for you. Floodgates. Your entire lives. And beyond this life. So, let us go through examples of this. Inshallah. From the Quran. To illustrate to you, because Allah illustrates His qualities, brothers and sisters, through beautiful examples. From the lives of the prophets, from companions, from the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as I said, in a nutshell, this entire name is about one issue. Turn to Allah to open the doors for you. For all affairs are in His hands. And none can open the doors but Allah Azza wa Jal. And if you recognize this, you will indeed be the strongest person. Like, wallahi, you'll be full of hope and strength in this life. You'll never be overcome with grief or stress or anxiety by anything. Because Allah is next to you. He'll open the door. And to have, what I would want to say is, brothers and sisters, faith and trust in that name. Like, to believe that Allah opens. He called Himself the opener. Right? Imagine if you just have hope in that concept, that Allah will open the door. look at how it changes your attitude and your spirit. Automatic. SubhanAllah. Let us look at a couple of examples from the Quran that illustrate this. Musa alayhi salam. And it illustrates how in an instant Allah can change your life. From a closure to an opening. Musa alayhi salam escapes Egypt. He ran for his life. Right? Remember he killed a man? And they wanted to kill him, so he left. He went to Midian for a number of years. Now he literally ran out to save his own life. So imagine, it's not a joke, right? Somebody out to kill you. Like imagine the terror you're in. Now you have to leave your own homeland. You end up in another land, mysterious, unknown to you. What kind of a closure is that? You have no home, no family, no shelter, no job, nothing. Brothers and sisters, really, these are extraordinary stories. And look at how Allah delivers these people, right? We're the weak ones who are not turning to Allah to rely on Him and just say it. Have trust in Allah. Allah is taking you up to this point in your life, taking care of you. Stop doubting Allah Azza wa Jalla. He's telling you, look at what I've done with these people. And you're telling me your problem is a big problem for me? Don't doubt Allah, right? I hold the keys to the heavens and the earth. I can open anything. Imagine his condition. All he has is his own clothes on him. That's it. Musa, what does he do? We know the story. That he ends up in this land and then he sees the people around the well and he sees these two girls, right? That are waiting for their turn to fetch the water, but no man is allowing them. All the men were mean around the well and fighting over it, but not helping out these two girls. What does Musa do? Helpless man, a stranger in that land, right? What springs to his heart? Spirit of what? Chivalry, help, not for any personal reasons. This is unbecoming. He gets up, courage, right? Doing the principal thing, and goes and helps them out, right? He doesn't say, I don't know these girls. I don't know who these people are. None of these complications that we have, right? No. You do the thing for the right, because it's the right thing to do, and it's it. Plain and simple, you do it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. No reservations, no judgments, no, what are they going to say? I'm doing this for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. It's the right thing to do, right? So he walks up to them, what's wrong? They say, well, we came to bring water, and our father is an old man. They didn't say, oh, haram, we can't talk to him. Very simple, brothers and sisters. Very simple communication. Not complicated, not burdened communication. Look at the thing when it happens, how it flows. Because it's pure. It's for the sake of Allah. And it's not burdened by any other kind of side interests, right? That we kind of trick ourselves and say, I don't have them, but I have them, right? No, this is straight, ethical, and decent. And look at the results all the time. He greets them. What's your problem? He didn't say, I don't know, maybe somebody else will help them. And, if I do this, maybe, I don't know if this is the right thing to do. No. Go up and do the right thing. Right? Had the conversations with them. They explained to him in return without reservation. They're clearly decent women that are shy and that are reserved and, well-bred and well-raised. But they didn't have a problem greeting him back and saying, here's our problem. And actually, almost like asking for help. They didn't necessarily say it, but they're saying, here's our problem, right? Our father's an old man, he can't come and do this, and we're here, but we're waiting for our turn, nobody's helping. And they say, don't worry, I'll get you the water. So he goes in, shoves his way in, and gets them the water. And they go back home. He wasn't looking and say, hey, give me your number right now, right? Check you out, right? None of this. Ends over there. For the sake of Allah, doing the right thing for the, to please Allah. Look at what happens next, brothers and sisters. What I'm pointing at is look at what it is that served as the key. Look at his life at that point. He has nowhere to go. What does he do afterward? They go back home. The Quran describes the journey. He retreats back and sits under a tree, devastated. Like, not devastated by hopelessness. The man has nothing, nowhere to go, no family, has no means, he has no solution. Like, I'm talking about not just physical closure. When you're confused, what do I do now? You know when somebody's jobless, like, what do I do, right? Like send resumes out, but then nothing is happening. Like, what do I do next? I have family, I have this. Total confusion. The unknown is very scary, right? You have no idea which path to take, which option, who to consult. Overwhelming. He had all of these problems and the anxiety and the fear and being a stranger in a strange land, but still did the right thing. So he sits under the tree, and what does he ponder upon? Allah. Allah Azza wa Jalla. What does he say, brothers and sisters? What is that extraordinary statement that revealed his trust in Allah? What was it? It was a beautiful. See, we're going to realize by the end of this lesson that all it takes is few keys from you. Realization in your mind, seeking Allah's help, and the opening happens, inshaAllah. First in your own heart it's going to happen, before the actual physical barrier is overcome. What's more important is your attitude, your sense that relief is here. You know when you're in trouble, somebody's really pinning you down, like a brother, right? Pinning you down. But you see your brother coming to your help from a distance. Even if you're struggling, you're in pain, but you see him coming, what does that do to you? Running. What does that do to you? Even though you're in pain. I'm excited, look, I know, all I need to do is this. That's it, because I see relief. I sense the relief coming. I'm witnessing it. Even though in that instant, you are in bad shape, right? Al-Fattah is like that. Once he makes you sense it, even though you're in the midst of really tough problems, but I sense Allah with me. And you sense Allah is with you, it's like that one coming to your help and rescue. Even though you're in the midst of the crisis still, nothing has happened yet. But the fact that you know He's with you coming, heart is assured right away. Make sense? Make sense? So all that Allah has to do, brothers and sisters, is not, we're so concerned about solving the actual physical problem. It's not the issue. The issue is for Allah to open your heart to see Allah is with you and His mercy is there. Don't worry, chill out. And He'll calm your heart down. Wallah, brothers and sisters, you see people with tons of problems around them. Health, money, unfathomable. Yet they're so chill and they're so calm. And they're like, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And you see people without anything going on in their lives and they're stressed out and anxious and closure upon closure. What's the difference? Somebody sees the mercy of Allah. Somebody sees Allah next to them. And that's all that has to happen. That opening in your heart is more important than all the other openings. So what happens to Musa? He's sitting down, no solutions. I have no idea what to do, where to go. Tough, ran away to save my own life. Where do I go next? So what does he say? Look at the key. It's a condition in the heart, but it's manifested with words in his tongue, in his mouth. رَبِّ إِنِّي لِمَا أَنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَقِيرٌ. Oh my Lord, inni, I am indeed in desperate need of what? Your bounty. I'm very poor. He says literally, inni لِمَا أَنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَقِيرٌ. I am in such need, desperate need. I'm in poverty and in need of what? Whatever you give me. I need it. So what is he acknowledging here? What is he affirming? Allah, I am nothing and you are something, right? I'm incomplete and you're complete. I'm the servant and you're the Lord. I'm weak and you're strong. Like when we do sujood, that's what we're doing. You diminish yourself, like, Ya Allah, you're everything. And I'm seeking it from the source. I'm in need and you have no needs. I'm the petitioner and you're the one who satisfies all the petitions. Ya Allah, I'm poor. Wallah, brothers and sisters, if it springs out of your heart, if it comes out of your heart, that statement of I'm poor, Ya Allah, and I'm not going to anybody but you. Ya Allah, please. And he didn't ask for something specific. Do you notice? Ya Allah, I'm poor. I need you. That's all he said. Rabbi inni lima anzalta ilayya min khayrin faqir. What happens next? While that's happening, the girls are talking to their dad about what this man has done. So he said, go bring him. Instantly, after he makes the dua, he sees the girl coming. My father wants to talk to you. What? I have no idea what my life is going to be like, right? Like, total closure. Suddenly, this person shows up. My dad wants to talk to you. I mean, just imagine, brothers and sisters, what kind of a door is that opening, right? What are the odds, right? In a strange land. It's his first day there. He goes back, and what happens next? He ends up marrying the girl. And the father ends up taking care of him, and he ends up working for him for the next few years. Set. Until his return back to Egypt. Who guaranteed that life? Who delivered him out of total confusion, problems, into full life, wife, children, right? And all the things. Because it was never about the thing. It was never about the job and the spouse. It was about teaching him a lesson. Trust in Allah. I can open that door in no time. But you need to train your heart to keep coming back to Allah and trust in Allah and have hope in His mercy. And have hope and trust that He is the key to open it, not people. Make sense? Endless stories indeed, brothers and sisters. How about the story of Yunus? The belly of the fish. We've talked about this numerous times before. You know the story. I don't want to go back. It's a long story. But Yunus received the revelation from Allah Azza wa Jal, the message to deliver. Allah's message to His people. Nineveh. He calls upon the people to believe in Allah. What do the people do? We don't want your God. We're not interested. He keeps trying and they're like, we're not interested, until he gives up on them and say, you guys are doomed. You guys are no good. And he was so angry that he left the city in wrath. He was really angry. So I'm done with you, I'm leaving. Before receiving the permission from Allah. He didn't receive, because the whole mission, the question is not about them believing or not. You have to do your part in this life, right? You don't just decide on your own when to leave and when to sit and when to end your da'wah, right? You don't do this. The consequences are on Allah Azza wa Jal. So he decides to leave. Is Allah happy with that? No, Yunus, you should not have left without my permission. So he takes him on a journey. He ends up on a boat with a lot of other people, and he ends up getting thrown into the ocean. And what swallows him? A whale or a big fish. Like, we're talking about closures today. Rooms that are closed. Problems, confusion, memory. Brothers and sisters, he ended up in a whale or a big fish. In the belly, right? Like, it's not even a normal key that needs to open this. Like, this is like a real, there's no other physical closure that is as bad as this. Belly of a creature, literally. You're swallowed up. The big fish ate him, but didn't chew him up, swallowed him completely. And imagine having to be sitting in a belly. Like, we take this lightly, right? Just think of the acids. Think of the smell. Think of, you're a doctor, you know what I'm talking about. No? Okay. It's not a joke. Like, being in a closet, for an hour can freak us out. Or in a dark room. Well, imagine you're in an ocean, in the belly of a creature. Allah knows for how long. And all these things are all around you. How about this ability to breathe? Closure upon a closure upon a closure. Who can take you out of this? Can any physical law bring you out? Law of physics here that can come in handy to take you out of that fish. Or somebody can somebody, even with people, if they're giving you a hard time, you hope hey, please can you talk to this person for me? Right? Please, beg them. Maybe there's a chance that they'll have sympathy for you if somebody else talks to them that they like. Who's going to talk to this fish? Right? Can somebody bring in somebody to talk to this fish, to spit him out? You see my point? You see how difficult it is? It's impossible. He literally ended up in his own grave. So what does he do? He realizes his own utter weakness. There's none but Allah. See, Allah took him on this whole journey to make him realize and see one thing clearly. Not that he didn't see it before, but really to teach him the lesson. Allah. So brothers and sisters, he actually took him into a real physical closure in the middle of a night, in the middle of an ocean, in the middle of a creature, inside of its belly. Try any law to bring you out. Only the causer of causes, the one who has the keys, will open. Because he says that the thing be. And it is. So it happens. Just as Musa, he had to invoke Allah with Allah, please, I need your bounty. And I trust in you. Instantly he got married, and all the things happened, right? What does he do? La ilaha illa ant. He says in the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jalla about Yunus, that when he called out in the darkness, call it darkness. La ilaha illa anta. Oh Allah, there is no God but you. I see it. I see it. No God but you. When we say no God but you, you know what it also means? There's no one who means anything but you. You're everything. You're the source of everything. I'm nothing without you. What does my existence mean without you? Right? You're the first and the last. You're the source of power, strength, provision, mercy. We're something because of you. Only when we realize you and see you do we become something. And I have no healing or cure or path in my life without you. You're everything. Imagine if you see Allah that way, brothers. Wallahi, your heart right away will be healed. La ilaha illa ant. No God but you. Subhanak. Glory to you. Exalted are you. Inni kuntu min al-zalimin. Indeed, I am among the transgressors. I transgressed. He acknowledges guilt. It's very critical, brothers and sisters, in your transformation with Allah to acknowledge guilt. Just as with people, we talked about it in the last khutbah, remember? The need to apologize sincerely. Most of us are very egotistical. Our egos are killing us, and we don't like to acknowledge guilt. Everybody comes up with all kinds of excuses and justifications to cover their own mistakes. So that's why relationships end up suffering. Because people are not humble enough to say, you know what, I'm wrong. Please forgive me. Sincerely, and instantly jump on it. We're always wanting the other to apologize, to make up for things. But never ever are we willing to look and interrogate ourselves and say, where did I go wrong? In my words, in my gestures, in my actions with this person. And what about saying, I'm sorry, even if you don't think you're wrong? That's even more noble. You know, you'll mellow their hearts, you'll soften their hearts. Wallahi, brothers, it's a healing. I'm telling you this is something for your future. Any relationship that you have, begin with your parents, with your siblings, and your future spouses, and your children. Apologize. Wallahi, apologize for everything. Make people feel good. Wallahi, Allah will transform your spirit. You're going to be reaping the benefits before them. Sometimes people, apologize, He might not forgive you. But you know what happened in your heart? Allah reconciled you with your own darkness. Because a burden like wronging someone is very heavy. You know, you feel it when you wrong somebody. You hurt somebody, you made fun of somebody. How often do we make fun of people, make sarcastic remarks? I mean, I hear about it, wallahi, from the brothers and sisters all the time, just on Facebook. That even in the name of Islam and people like organizing events, they start like bashing each other. And all for good. The shaitan makes it look justifiable. Oh, they deserve it. They're wrong. Put them in their place, right? So we start making fun of people, mocking them publicly, insulting them. Doesn't that make you feel bad that you've just made your brother or your sister feel bad? You embarrassed them. How does that make us happy? Hopefully our hearts are healthy and they're feeling bad, guilty. Allah says, don't worry. I can allow you to deal with this guilt right away and wash it away, but come out and acknowledge your guilt. First, apologize to the person, sincerely, profusely. Even if they don't forgive you, your heart is healed, inshallah. But how about apologizing to Allah? Right? We don't apologize to Allah, brothers and sisters. We take Him for granted. So here is Yunus apologizing to Allah. He recognizes that Allah, not only did I do wrong, I'm a transgressor. I'm an oppressor. And that's it. That was the end of the dua. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min adh-dhalimin. What happened next? فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Beautiful verse. Beautiful promise. Be happy with this verse. He says, so we answered him immediately. And we took him out of his what? Agony and affliction. The closure. Opened it right away. And as such, we relieve the believers. He says it's not only for you to be for Yunus, for anybody in the position of Yunus. And could it be worse than being in a belly of a fish? Cannot be. I don't care what your problems are. It cannot be worse than Yunus in the belly of a fish. What did Allah do? Commanded the whale right away to let him out. We're talking about people trying to convince somebody for you to soften up. Allah told the creature, let him out. And what would the creature do? It's a creature of Allah. Automatically spat him out. And he came out. Well, could there be a more difficult closure? And it opened. When it opened, he was totally released. And subhanAllah, brothers and sisters, had he not done this, this would have been his grave. He would have been killed there. He would have been dead eternally in that place. SubhanAllah. What an opening is that, brothers and sisters. How much more has Allah has to demonstrate to us? I'm going to ask you from your own life. How often has it happened that you're in a problem? Physical, money, health, problem with your mother, your father, somebody giving you a hard time, or somebody not understanding your point of view, or an emotional thing. You're stressed out, you're anxious, you really swear it can never have a solution. And there was a solution. How many times has this happened in our lives? I could tell you countless, but we forget them. You know, all these were examples of Allah opening for you, coming to literally show you something, but we never made the connection. So when the opening happened, we forgot that it was the one who opened it. So we never learned the lesson, and we never built the trust in him. He was just trying to teach us the lesson all along. Don't worry. I've already solved a lot of your problems in your life. I already relieved you. Already fed you. Already healed you from an illness. Already sorted out the confusions in your mind and erased the uncertainties. You already showed you wisdoms behind things you didn't see it. Remember when that example was brought up? I don't see this. Well, were there not examples in your life where you saw later you're like, oh, I see why this happened. Wallahi, even I always mention the example of me coming to Maryland. When I came to Maryland, I had no idea why I chose this school. No clue. I got accepted in so many other universities. I'm like, well, I'm going to go here. I'm like, oh, I have no idea. Good, bad, no clue. Wallahi, brothers and sisters. Every time I reflect on this, I'm like, subhanAllah, that he made me see this. And now my entire journey in life changed because of a place he sent me to. My profession, my interests, my passions, my mission in life. I had no idea. He was walking us in life. But made me later see it. It's an opening. See my point? How much has it happened in your life where he has shown you things? Erased those confusions. Made you see, made you taste things that you didn't taste before. These were examples of Al-Fattah. In the hope to build your trust and your hope in Al-Fattah. So that when the next problem happens, what do you say? Well, he already showed me the way. He already opened doors for me. He opened the door for Musa and Yunus. And I've seen it in my own life. Why wouldn't he open the door right now? Ya Allah, Ya Fattah, Iftah. Open. And see what Allah will do with you, brothers and sisters. If nothing else, as I said to you, inshallah, He's going to open your heart to see, to feel comforted, to feel healed, to feel secure, even in the midst of an ocean. Wallah, brothers and sisters, somebody could be in the middle of an ocean, in a boat, no idea where they're going. But Allah can send tranquility on them, and they're feeling very secure because they feel Allah in His presence. Ask yourself, dear brothers and sisters, indeed, how often has this happened in our lives, but we forgot, and the shaitan really goes out of his way to make you forget, so that you never make the connection with this treasure. Because Al-Fattah is a treasure. And if you have that key to seeing that Allah is with you and He's Al-Fattah, you're relieved. And the shaitan doesn't want you in that condition. He wants you to forget, because he wants you to be anxious, distressed, confused, hopeless. He wants to see you unhappy. And you say, no. You're not going to make me forget. You're not going to make me forget. I've seen Allah and I trust in Allah and He's always been loyal to me. Further examples. Allah says in the Quran, yet again, using the same term, yaftah, open, because it is a closure. This is a real thing in our lives, brothers and sisters. Relationships. How often does it happen that people fabricate things against you? How often is it that we disagree with others? Or a problem happens with somebody and there are 2 points of view. Right? You have your account and their account. And you have a major problem. And somebody has to arbitrate. Who do they believe? How do you resolve the problem? Somebody denied you a right that is yours. A promotion. Whatever it is. Somebody took that which is yours. And nobody knows but them. And you have your version against their version. How often does these things happen? People talk about you bad or spread things about you. You know it's not true. They know probably it's not true, but they did it. To denigrate you, to, scandalize you, whatever it is. Or as I said, that they come and introduce a version of an event that didn't happen. right? To put you in serious trouble. And you swear to people like, I didn't do this. Right? Who's going to reveal the truth? Who's going to open? This is a closure, dear brothers and sisters. This is a closure. And another example is to actually have a problem with somebody, of not arriving at an understanding, common understanding. Like you're trying to convince, as I said, your mother or father of something, they're just not seeing your point. And they're upset with you. They're really angry with you. And you're really hoping for a moment where their hearts soften to see your point of view and have just sympathy for you. Allah describes all of these as examples of closures between us and people, family, friends, community, adversaries. This is one of the key obstacles in our lives, brothers and sisters. How do we untie the knots in relationships so that your family, your future spouse, whoever it is, when you have these agreements, that their hearts soften and there's an opening where the truth is revealed. Or that when somebody denies you what is yours, sooner or later the truth will be revealed. And that people will see that you're right and they're wrong, or whatever it is. Where do you place your trust when these problems happen? When you walk up to your mother or somebody that is upset with you, how do you start? Brothers and sisters, as I said, it's not about an intellectual argument here. Sometimes you notice that, maybe, I don't know if it has happened with your family or mother, but your mother is upset with you, and sometimes you break down and she softens, right? I don't know, it happened with me one time, right? And I'll never forget this, like more than a decade ago, like, she was so upset with me. I think I cried or something, and she, like the heart of a mother, right? I'm like, oh my God, how did I not know that? Oh, I was right? It's a key. In its instant, brothers and sisters, went from wrath to like total affection and sympathy as if nothing has happened. And so I didn't really screw up, right? What happened? Allah opened her heart. The problem is we forget that the openings have to occur in the heart and the soul. So we try to latch onto all kinds of logic, arguments, blah, 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 try to be smart, convince the other person. I'm going to show them, right? I'm going to show them. I'm going to try to convince them. And we actually argue. Not understanding all these things are complicating the closure. Like instead of one door, now you're adding more doors, right? Try to open that. So listen to what Allah says. He's teaching us a dua. The dua says, رَبَّنَا افتح بيننا وبين قومنا بالحق وأنت خير الفاتحين. What an extraordinary lesson. Brothers and sisters, wise, thoughtful believers connected to Allah have an awareness of the keys, right? Because they have figured out a treasure that nobody else has figured out, Allah. So when they talk to somebody, they're having a problem, or when somebody denies them something, or there's somebody who has lied about them, fabricated something about them, they say, don't worry. Oh Allah, here's what the dua says. Rabbana, oh our Lord, iftah baynana. Open, arbitrate between us and our people with the truth. And indeed, you are the best opener. You know what they're saying in this dua? What you're saying is that, Ya Allah, you're the opener. Sure, they lied about me. You open the door to the truth. And you reveal it. It's only a matter of time. Ya Allah, I'm talking to my mother. I don't know how to begin. Oh Allah, open her heart. Iftah baynana. Open between me and the heart of my mother with the truth. Let her soften. Send her that flicker of light that can allow her to see. Allow her to love, whatever it is. To have sympathy for me, to feel sorry for me. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, try this. It's a dua taught to us by who? Al-Fattah. Because he is demonstrating this as another example of a major closure in relationships. And how many problems we have in relationships? Brothers and sisters, wallahi, it's a key to your success in life. I'm telling you, try it with your parents. Oh Allah, open their hearts. Ask Allah with this name. Try it with your future spouses or if you have spouses. That before you talk to them, Ya Allah, open her heart. Open his heart, Ya Allah. And plead, Ya Allah, you're the one who opens all the doors. Ya Allah, soften their hearts. Ya Allah, Ya Allah. And inshallah, but something will happen. Inshallah. Just keep the faith and the trust in Allah Azza wa Jal. Somebody lied about you, Ya Allah. You are the revealer of the truth. You're the opener. I trust in you. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to try my best to be patient with this. Not encroach, not transgress. My trust is in you. You're with me. The fact that you're with me, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin. I don't need, even if all people disbelieve, if all people believe these false stories, Alhamdulillah that you know the truth, Ya Allah. And guess what? Allah is a witness to what happened. And Allah is the opener. He says, don't worry. There's no such thing as a truth that will not be revealed. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, all the stories that you see of people being oppressed, being denied, being lied about, seriously, it's only a matter of time before the truth about them gets revealed. Allah, when He opens it, He's going to open it. And rest assured, this is one of His names. He has to. So the believer connected with this name knows it's only a matter of time. So let Allah take care of it His way. Because if you try to take care of it your way, you're going to mess it up. Right? How often do we try to convince people of something and we go out of our way and actually end up looking worse? Relax, chill out. The believer is like chilled out. Don't worry. Allah is with me. And it doesn't matter what people think. If they choose this, alhamdulillah, I'll leave it to Allah Azza wa Wallahi, brothers and sisters. Instant healing in your heart, inshallah. Don't worry and don't be afraid. You are with Allah. And Allah tells the Prophet, فَتَوَكَّلْ Allah, He tells him, O Prophet of Allah, trust in Allah. Put your hope in Allah. Put your full confidence in Allah. Indeed, you are on the right path. Don't worry. I'll strengthen you. I'll reveal the truth. قُلِ Just say Allah and then leave them. He says to the Prophet, just say Allah and leave them. And if you found Allah, as I said, wallahi, your own soul will tell you what's wrong with you. I have Allah, right? You'll chill. You'll chill out, inshallah. Yusuf is a story that actually is an illustration of what I just said. What did they say about Yusuf alayhi salam? What did the wife of Aziz do to him? Remember?
Well, she tried to kiss him.
Exactly. And more, right? She wanted to tempt him and really seduce him to do something awful, right? She wanted him. She locked up all the doors, closures, right? She locked up all the doors so that nobody witnesses a thing. And says, here I am. Take me. It's in the Quran. And he says, I fear Allah, right? So what did she do next? He refused. And the story was discovered. She made up something. She fabricated something. What did she say to her husband? Oh, he tried to attack me. He's the one who came on to me. I didn't. She made up a story. What did Yusuf, what does he do? She's his master. He said, no, I didn't. I didn't do this. So it's her version, her versus her version. Who's going to confirm what the truth is? Nobody is there, brothers and sisters, but them. Will they lock up her, the mistress, the master, or the slave? Who do they end up locking up? He ends up being the victim. What does he do? Brothers and sisters, it is narrated that he was in prison for 9 years. Closure. But it was a stage in his life for a bigger opening. Realize, closures are there for a reason. They're not a bad thing. They're a stage leading up to a bigger opening, inshallah. And if it wasn't for these closures, maybe you'll never arrive at your destination. Like in the story of Yusuf, I always say that imagine if you didn't know that Yusuf will end up where he ended up in the story. Will you accept his conditions? That he was, abused by his brothers and, ended up being thrown into another country and then a slave, then imprisoned for 9 years. Who would take that, right? Would you accept his story? Would you like that to be your life? Slave, 9 years in prison, right? Away from your family. But if I tell you at the end, he ends up being the minister, saves Egypt and all the regions around it, and his family is rejoined with him, and it's a story that is told until the end of time. Would you take that story? I bet you'll take it. See, I'm willing to put up with this because I know the end, right? Big opening happens. And it's glory. Brothers and sisters, all of us are yearning for glory. If you know what the end is, you're willing to put up with the struggles. So when you see Jannah, for example, you say, Alhamdulillah, I'll put up with everything. And when you see Al-Fattah, you say, don't worry, these temporary constrictions, they're there for a reason. My illness, bigger openings later. Struggles with family, with this or with that, temporary. Bigger openings happening, inshallah, but they're there for a reason. Yusuf experienced that. So here's brothers and sisters in prison. It took a number of years, but at the end what happened? Did Allah not reveal the truth? He made the wife of Aziz herself admit. Look, notice. He made her admit. It was only a matter of time. So the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, brothers and sisters, put his full trust in Allah Azza wa Jal. And the wife of Aziz herself, she said, الآن حصحص الحق. And now the truth has come out. So I tried to cover it for a long time, but the truth had to come out because the truth is very powerful, brothers and sisters. Don't worry, just don't be on the wrong side. That's what matters the most. Falsehood is very flimsy. Darkness is very flimsy. Lying and cheating is very flimsy. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, very short-lived. And the pleasure of it is very short-lived. Nothing bad is going to make you happy, content. Truth is like that light. No matter how much you try to hide the light away, it's going to come out. And wallahi, brothers and sisters, at the end, Allah relieves him and takes him out of prison. What does he become again? The savior of Egypt. Could there be a bigger opening? Wow, subhanAllah. Look at the closures he had to go through, but he indeed lived and experienced the meaning of Al-Fattah. Few points that are significant about Al-Fattah. The openings in our lives, brothers and sisters, just as with the story of Yusuf, will come from places we don't even know existed. Like, from the place, as they say, that you least expect. Would Yusuf ever thought that the story of his transformation will start occurring in prison? Because what happened in prison? Did he not see those two men and explain to them their dreams, and and then the king ends up knowing that he can interpret dreams, and they brought him out? If he didn't go to prison, would the king have ever known about Yusuf? If he's remained in the house of the minister, none of this would have happened. So Allah allowed the opening to happen in his life by throwing him into a big closure and made that the vehicle. So realize, brothers and sisters, openings can happen at any time and from places you least expect. Least expect. Another thing. The openings might happen with the slightest of things as well. Remember when I spoke about the tear? Sometimes you're very hard on somebody and they shed a tear, and what happens to your heart? Softens. SubhanAllah. All it takes is a tear. All it takes sometimes in your heart and you're tired and you hear a verse of the Quran being recited maybe, and your heart softens. Or a good word, or sight of an innocent child, or breeze. Do you notice our moods just something like this? Like what happened? I don't know what happened, but an opening happened. The problem is we feel good, but we never understand, what just happened is Al-Fattah stepped in and made you feel that way. Opened it up. And all it took was a little something. Further, miraculous, wallahi, sign. Like Allah's telling you, I can open with anything. It's not the magnitude of it, right? No. Because all I have to do is will it. And I'll use the tear, and I'll use the word, and I'll use the look, and I'll use the smell, perhaps, to change you completely and make you feel better. How often do brothers and sisters, do we read a verse in the Quran as an example, or look at a problem? As I said, I like to use math because I did a lot of math in my life, and you're looking. I looked at it 100 times and it's not happening yet. I don't see it. And suddenly, Einstein just comes into your mind. It's like, I see it. Right? And here I am, and you start solving like an Einstein, like the aha moment comes. Aha, I get it. And when you get something, nobody can take it away? No, I see it. And you picture the solution, right? How often does that happen in your studies? How about in the Quran? You're reading it, and you're like, I see it. I see the physical, surface meaning, but I'm just not connecting, right? And suddenly, do you see what I'm saying? I love when people come to do you see what I just saw? I'm like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. Because it's your own experience. Allah reveals different meanings to people, by the way. They're levels. And if He connects you with a certain meaning in the Quran, it's yours. Try to convince others of it, inshallah. Maybe if He wants others to have it, they'll have it. But don't expect it. It's your own personal message. And it can be that message that brings that tear. I was like, oh my God, I see this. It's not something you can write or describe, but it's a feeling you felt when that verse fell on your ear. But I've heard it 1,000 times before. It never connected with me that way. What happened? Allah opened your heart. Create that opening to see that thing. To see the full dimensions of it. Right? And it's a moment like no other. So Allah, brothers and sisters, can open with the slightest of things. In a moment He can open. with a tear, with a word. Whenever He wills, it can happen. Another extraordinary thing about His openings, when He opens, remember He's the only one who can open doors. And if He opens doors, nobody can lock them. And if He locks the door, nobody can open the door. But there's something even more amazing. That inshallah, this should, I want to take this home with you. He says, remember, this is Allah. Remember when we spoke about His qualities before? When He said about Himself, I'm merciful, is it like our mercy? No. He's the forgiving one. Is it like our forgiveness? He's As-Salam, the source of peace. Is it like our peace? How about when I say He's the Al-Fattah? Is it like me and you opening? When He opens, it's like floodgates. When He decides to use the key and open something for you, it's like a torrent. I'll give you an example. Like the story of Hajar and Ismail in Mecca. It's an extraordinary story. You know, Ibrahim leaves them in the valley, barren desert, no water, infant. The mother is scrambling to find water for him. Allah sends the angel and He strikes with His wing on the ground. What comes out? Barren desert. Water comes out. But was the water just enough for them? Do you know that Zamzam water feeds all creation? And it's going to keep doing so until the end of time? And Zamzam, by the way, comes from an expression in Arabic. She was trying to collect the water. She was afraid. So it was a miracle. Water starts coming out, and she's afraid that the water will be like wasted. So she started to gather those and saying to the water, Zam, Zam, come together. Come together. What happened from that moment thousands of years ago? I said, Allah is telling you, what are you doing? It became called Zamzam from that. But it was an expression of what? Oh, opening. Don't say Zamzam. It's going to be opening up. And it's going to be a sign, not only for you, for all people, that when He opens, this water is going to be a water that nourishes billions. And it will never end. Because who opened it? Allah. Wallah, it's extraordinary. Zamzam, brothers, is a well that doesn't end. There's no end to it. Till the end of time. Zamzam will run. She was trying to contain it. Allah says, no. Let it go. It's the flow from Allah. It's not like a flow like, maybe He's give you a little, right? Here, take this. Let's just leave me alone, right? Little opening. I'll solve your problem, but today. Don't come to me tomorrow. Enough, one, right? Two, maybe. Depends on my mood. Allah says, no. When I open the floodgates. Unlike the openings of the human beings. Look at the stories of the Prophet ﷺ. All the journey, all the difficulties that he's been through. When he opened for him, Mecca opened. The lands, the conquests happened. Brothers, it's not a joke. Islam spread everywhere. What an opening was that? That Allah opened hearts with him. The biggest openings are the openings of hearts, brothers and sisters. Are our hearts open? That, wallahi, is the lesson of the day. The key thing from today is our hearts open to the light of Allah to see. And are we keys to open the hearts of others around us? To see the light. See my point? Conquests. That's what really Al-Fattah is all about, conquests. And Allah's conquering all the time and opening, and He's using us to open as well. But if we're not connected with Al-Fattah in our lives, how can we become vehicles to open hearts of others? Make sense? Because when they look at you, they're not going to see any opening. You're not someone that reminds them, perhaps, of anything good. Right? Do you know, brothers and sisters, I've read of stories of people being transformed once they see people making the salah. You heard about it. Somebody will watch somebody praying, and they're like, wow, something about the way they prayed. Or reading the Quran, or doing something good. That the example of that person in their behavior and their humility transformed the heart of somebody else. How often does that happen? Perhaps our own hearts have changed because of somebody. Isn't it true? So without them knowing, perhaps, that person served as a key. But Allah used it as a key to open your own heart. SubhanAllah. That's an example as well. A sign from Allah Azza wa Jal. So, a couple of things inshaAllah we'll end. So, number one. As I said, brothers and sisters, the biggest closure, the one that we need to be most concerned with, are not the physical closures, but the spiritual closures, the heart. And what is an example of a closure of a heart? Allah describes in the Quran when the heart becomes sealed, that it can no longer see. Again, brothers and sisters, think of how many people around us, billions on this earth, they can't find Allah. What is worse than that? That their heart sees other gods, made up other gods, worship other things. And it doesn't have to be a physical god, right? They made up an idol. No. How about worshiping people, worshiping wealth, worshiping reputation and fame, money, etc., etc., worshiping life. They cannot see Allah Azza wa Jal. How many people oppress, transgress, kill people? They'll do anything. Can they see the truth? To them, what they're doing is, by the way, truth. By the way, if you actually look at the accounts, read about accounts of people like from Nazi Germany. It's incredible accounts to even current oppressions. People who kill and oppress and do, in their own minds, they're justified. What happened in their own hearts, they see the truth as falsehood, and falsehood as the truth. Look at Syria right now. Why does it make somebody go rape, kill, savage a country? In his own mind and in the minds of the killers, they're justified. The shaitan made it look attractive. So Allah says we continue to sin in this life and sin and sin and sin until layers develop over the heart, until it becomes sealed and hard and insensitive. How often, brothers and sisters, you try to explain something simple to somebody and logical, they can just not see it. No way. And they'll argue with you, and you know that it's messed up what they're saying, but they cannot see because the heart is closed. And Allah says, I'm the only one who can open the heart. And your heart. Well, Allah, brothers and sisters, there's nothing more scary than the possibility that we're already can't see and we think we're seeing. That's the worst. Because you are under the impression you see, but you're not seeing. Here's what Allah says. Your heart cannot see without me. Brothers and sisters, we think our eyes can see. Can they? I can do a very simple experiment right here. Too bad there's light coming from here. All I have to do is shut off that light. Your eyes are open but cannot see. So it's not just because it's open that it can see. What do you need? I need light. Why is it that we're not learning from this lesson? Allah says the fact that your eyes are open, that you possess a heart, doesn't mean you're going to see. You need light for you to see in the room. And the only light is the light of Allah in what? His guidance, hidayah. Hidayah. He calls it hidayah. That I create an opening in your heart to see the truth, to see Allah, to believe in Allah, to accept Him, to embrace Him, right? To see that worship is your delivery to Jannah, right? To see that helping people is a good thing, right? To see the Quran is my healing, my mercy. To see the truth. And to see falsehood as ugly. Does falsehood appear ugly to you, brothers and sisters? When you see people worshipping idols or denying Allah, does it bother you? Do you find it detestable? When you hear somebody, lying or oppressing, does it bother you? If it bothers you, alhamdulillah, that means your heart has been made to reject falsehood. But if it's tasty for you, likable for you, it's a problem. That means the heart is not healthy. There's some kind of a seal on it, right? If it's harsh, it's a bad sign. The heart is insensitive. It hasn't captured the mercy of Allah, so it cannot deliver mercy. See my point? If you're argumentative, if you want to always be down on people, and those are bad signs that your heart is not seeing, and you think you're seeing. So guess what the Prophet ﷺ did? He was so concerned with this. Brothers and sisters, we better be concerned with this. He says, Ya Allah, among his supplications, he's pleading. Imagine even the Prophet was concerned about his own heart, because all it takes is one moment for your heart to flip. How often do you see people turning from the nicest to the ugliest? Right? From very merciful guy to just being harsh. From seeing the truth and leaving all truth. It happens. So here's what the Prophet says. Allahumma ya Allah, arina al-haqqa haqqa warzuqna ittiba'ah, wa arina al-batila batila warzuqna ijtinaba. Ya Allah, I plead with you. Ya Allah, make us see the truth as truth. And make us see falsehood as falsehood. Because guess what, brothers and sisters? Truth and falsehood do not change. They're fixed. Isn't it true? Very simple. There's nothing subjective about them. But what's the problem? The problem is the one who sees them. The shaitan doesn't tell you that nakedness is a good thing. He tells you it's freedom, right? He makes it look attractive, so people start becoming naked. He tells you, no, it's okay. Greed it's not a greed. It's just what is it? Whatever they call it in capitalistic terms, right? Try to just get more and more and step over people's backs and what nature,
human nature.
It's human nature. It's survival of the fittest. He'll use other terms to make the endeavor look attractive, but what are you doing? Oppression. Greed is awful, nasty, ravages people's lives, right? We call even like I heard about the term even welfare. They call it entitlement. Like what is entitlement about that? It's poor people who need. You see my point? Usage of all kinds of terms to make something look either good or bad according to their whims and desires. That's what we do all the time. We justify our behavior, and the shaitan makes it look like this. So what does the Prophet ﷺ do? He says, Ya Allah, I beg you, I plead with you, make me see the truth as truth. That when I see it, I realize it's a truth. Because I can easily be tricked. Even me as a prophet. And Ya Allah, when I see falsehood, make me see it as falsehood and not confuse it as the truth. He's talking about his own heart. He's worried about his own heart. How worried about we are about our hearts, brothers and sisters? That on a daily basis, we're not messing up like that. We're not wronging others thinking we're right. But we might have been wrong. It's humility. It's recognition that Allah is the one who can make your heart see the truth and see falsehood. And then follow them. Now, brothers and sisters, the extraordinary thing is that there's no light but through the light of the Quran. It's the objective reference, frame of reference, so to speak. Allah says, without it, you're blind. For sure. Like if you don't have Quran in your life, you don't constantly go back to that reference to allow your heart to see and your mind to understand, your frame of reference is completely morphed. Completely. There's nothing, by the way, no matter how much you try to convince yourself that you understand, you're blind. Guess who designed this? Allah. He says, I'm the creator of the heavens and the earth. The light that I sent you to light up the path for your heart to see is called the Quran. There's no other source of light. It's the source of guidance for your heart to see. If you choose other ways and you neglect the Quran, your heart will not see. It might see partial things by the will of Allah, but it will not see the full truth. It will not be on the path. It will be like that person in the dark room scrambling and wobbling, but they think they're okay. They think they're actually like in the best place they can be. They're blind. They don't know any better. Quran, 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 brothers and sisters. He says it's the key. It's the key to your heart. So we're worried about our hearts. How do I heal my heart? How do I erase the confusion and the uncertainty? How do I give it hope? Allah says in the Quran, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And we reveal in the Quran that which is a mercy and a healing for the believers. Healing. Healing, brothers. Automatic mercy from Allah. Opening for your heart. So your hearts will never open. That's one of the key lessons and points we take from today. Your hearts will never open to see wisdom, to see reality, to see truth, to love Allah, until you take a journey with the Quran. And the Quran becomes your companion. Like your light, as if somebody is walking with light in the middle of darkness, right? Literally, you had to walk with a flashlight at night. Wallah, but if you treat the Quran the same way, that's your flashlight. And you're comforted. Guys, I have the flashlight, I'm not worried, I just have to turn it on. And it's like you saying, I'm going to keep going back to the Quran. Wallah, but it explains reality, it explains you to you. It explains to you your journey. It reminds you of your destination, isn't it? Isn't that Quran what it does? It gives you hope, it gives you glad tidings. It confirms you. It connects you to the past and the future. It gives you a purpose. It gives you Allah. How do you know about Allah without the Quran? How do you know about the Prophet ﷺ without the Quran? Didn't he come to deliver the Quran to us and leave? Yes, he said, hang on to it. He said, I don't have anything to leave you with. I don't have money to leave you. But I have the Quran for you. Stick to it. He said, hang on to it. It's your path to Jannah. You leave it, you're going to be blind. But you think you're okay? Blind, brothers and sisters. Wallahi, blind. It's your healing. Open the Quran and try it when you're constricted and see what I'm talking about. But don't read the Quran as that convenient companion. When you need it, you go to it. No, brothers and sisters. Honor it, embrace it like it's Allah's words, right? Hold it tight. Keep it next to you. Refer to it. Be happy with it. Realize it's light, it's energy from Allah, divine. It contains secrets. It contains keys to the mercy of Allah and His treasures. Just wait until you undertake the journey with it. But it requires effort. Effort. Because Allah wants to see how much you value this. And Fath, openings are not going to just come like this. You notice that even in physical conquest, you notice people have to struggle to achieve big conquests in life. Isn't it true? So Allah says for you to arrive at openings, you have to make a what? Effort. I don't want to just sit around and wish for it. No, you have to work hard. So you want openings to your physical problems in life? Work. Don't worry. Trust in Allah. Don't worry. He's with you. But work. Work and work and don't worry about the result. I'll open it for you. But you have to make an effort. You want spiritual openings? Get up. Make wudu and pray. Pray. You know that the salah is a key? Key literally. The Prophet ﷺ says, Miftahul Jannah. You know, Jannah is closed. Not a closure. It's not open to anybody. It's literally physically closed. But there's a key. The key to it is salah. So as if the salah is your key to open the doors of Jannah. Or the heavens. There's no other key. Allah's telling, here's the key that I'm going to give you. It opens the doors of mercy for you to arrive to Jannah. How many of us brothers and sisters realize spiritual openings from our heart to open to the truth, to Allah, to the heavens? All I have to do is get up and make wudu and say Allahu Akbar. Wallahi, just opened. You just use that key, but you have to be present in your salah, right? Quran is the opener of your heart. Salah is your opener to Jannah, your key to Jannah and to the heavens. Dua literally opens the heavens and invokes Allah, recruits into your right away. Dua. Look at these keys that He's teaching us. Keys. Dua. Quran. Salah. Right? Keys. He calls them keys. What else is a key? Just as the rest of the names of Allah. We always learn that if you want more of something, deliver the thing to others. Right? Like you want peace from Allah, give peace. You want mercy? What do? Mercy. So similarly here, you want Allah to open for you. What should you do?
Zakah.
What is that?
Zakah.
Yeah, open for others. Exactly. Zakah is an example of it. Be a tool or a key for others' problems to be opened. And be a source of relief for others, so to speak. Physically and metaphysically. In tangible or intangible issues. If somebody has a problem and it's locked up for them, can you help open it for them? Wallah, brothers and sisters, be happy and jump on it and realize by you opening that door for them, Allah will open the door for you. Inshallah. Definitely. Manifest opening. They're confused, sit down and take some time to explain to them. Don't just ignore them. I always say, even a child telling you, what is why? They drive you nuts with why. Sit down and explain it. Make an effort. They're confused. We take them for granted, wallahi, but children are incredible. They need to learn. That's their question. That's the way of discovery. Why? And even when you tell them, you give the explanation, they'll tell you still, why? I just explained to you. Why? You really wonder. It's like totally different logic. Be patient. Realize it's a creature of Allah. Remember when I said Allah is meant for you to exist, made the decision for them to exist. They're precious to Him. They have their own journeys. Can you become that tool in their journey that allows them to grow and see openings? Right? Realize if you do that for the child or for somebody broken, Allah will open doors for you. You'll erase the confusion when you're confused. Relieve somebody in distress and Allah will relieve you in your distress. Right? Give, brothers and sisters. Give of yourself. Make an effort. And Allah, inshaAllah, will send those who will open doors for you. Indeed, Allah, as one hadith says, that Allah inspired earth that whoever serves me, all earth serve him or her. Allah will command all of earth to come to your service. Open up for you. Imagine like the treasures that are waiting for us. And what do? We're totally confused. We're totally blind to the treasures. That's why we're distressed, we're confused. The believer is hopeful, brothers and sisters. Is not afraid because he realizes Allah is next to me. Holder of the keys of the heavens and the earth. All I have to do is make an effort, be a source of giving, right? And rely on Allah, and Allah opens all the doors. What else, dear brothers and sisters? Istighfar is another key. Allah says, you want openings to happen. So we spoke about salah as a key. Race to it. Be happy that you have salah. Quran opens your heart. If your heart is constricted, anxious, read Quran. Look up the meaning of a verse. Dua. Ask Allah, Ya Allah, help me. Just as Musa and Yunus and Muhammad did. You just open, that dua is a key to the heavens. Right? What else is a key? Incredible, extraordinary expression Allah taught us in the Quran. He says to Nuh, فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ. Nuh says, and it's narrated in the Quran, in Surah Nuh, فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا وَيُمْدِدْكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا. Among the things that Allah taught Nuh to teach his people is make istighfar. What is istighfar? Seek forgiveness from Allah. What is real istighfar? It's like, real istighfar is like saying, Ya Allah, I'm sorry, I messed up. Forgive me. That's what it's saying. Astaghfirullah al-azim, I seek forgiveness from Allah. Memorize it. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Can you imagine that that's the key? What happens as we're promised in this verse? Nuh told his people, Allah taught me to teach you to say, Oh Allah, forgive us. Oh Allah, forgive us. Just keep saying it, but be sincere when you say it. What happens when you say it and you're sincere? That you're just asking for Allah to forgive you with awareness that He's the forgiver and hope and trust that He'll forgive you. But say it frequently. What happens? He says, guaranteed the following will happen. يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا. Heavens and the clouds will open up with rain. He's talking about physical provision. So if you're poor or struggling, what should you do? Make istighfar. يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا وَيُمْدِدْكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا. Not only will He open the torrents, because remember His openings are not normal. Torrent, rain will come down. And then He'll give you wealth, children, rivers and gardens. He's talking purely physical pleasures and provision by istighfar, let alone the spiritual pleasures. Wow, who would have thought that by me sitting down, make istighfar regularly, Allah will open doors for me to serious physical provision problems. Provision. Can you imagine? Who amongst us does this, brothers and sisters? That's why the Prophet ﷺ used to make istighfar daily. He would sit down, just as we sit down and make salah, he would actually sit down and say, Astaghfirullah al-Azim, Astaghfirullah al-Azim, Astaghfirullah al-Azim, Astaghfirullah. At least, in one hadith it says at least 100, in another it says 70. Say as much as you can, to the point where people would observe him in a gathering saying this. While he's sitting, he's making istighfar. Wallah, if you make this a habit, your life will change. Just take this today. Like if there's something new that you're not doing, make istighfar daily. See what will happen in your life. But trust. Don't just say it like that. Trust first, Allah is going to forgive you, inshallah. And number two, be happy that you're saying it. I got a treasure, right? I have this. And number three, inshallah, Allah will open doors of provision for you, guaranteed, inshallah. Inshallah. Astaghfirullah, make it Allah, brothers. Instant relief. What else? Tons of others. Almost anything you learn in these is a key, right? But I'm going to wrap up with something, inshallah. And this is an extraordinary verse. You remember when we spoke about verses you read over and over, but you never get it, right? Until one day, like, this is amazing, right? This is one of those verses for me. I have my own personal experience with it. In Surah Al-Fattah, in verse 2, Surah Al-Fattah, verse 2, go read that verse. Allah says in it, مَا يَفْتَحِ اللَّهُ مِنْ رَحْمَةٍ فَلَا مُمْسِكَ لَهَا وَمَا يُمْسِكْ فَلَا مُرْسِلَ لَهُ مِنْ بَعْدِهِ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. I've read this, wallahi, I can't count how many times. Allah says in this verse, that whatever mercy Allah opens, no one can withhold it back. And whatever He withholds, nobody can send forth. And indeed, He is the mighty one, the most wise. I'm like, yeah, okay, He's talking about His mercy opening it or closing it. Okay. And if He opens it, nobody can close it. And if He closes it, nobody can open it. What's special about this? Brothers and sisters, this verse, you can take it as such. It literally becomes the thing that you should ask for Allah the most for. What Allah's saying here is pay attention. First of all, He's using the word open for His mercy. Remember when we spoke about opening? It's like that locked up treasure that everybody's vying for, right? And everybody wants the key. So when Allah's talking about something closed, it's a treasure. Pay attention. Whatever Allah says close, it means it's something precious. Does it make sense? Something precious. It's a treasure that people are fighting for. What is He calling a treasure here? He's saying, because He says, I open it. What is He referring as a treasure? Mercy. I'll be honest, I never connected the dots. Like, He's actually calling His mercy the treasure. As the treasure. And He says, if I open it, nobody can withhold it. But if I withhold it, nobody can open it. I'm the most wise, I'm the most mighty. What is He telling me in this verse? Ask for what? Ask for my mercy. Ask for my mercy, that's all you need. Brothers and sisters, I've read tons of this, reflections on this. And some of them like shook me, wallahi, by some of the righteous people written about this, understanding this verse and so forth. Brothers and sisters, as commentary in this verse, they say, this is the most sacred thing you can ask for. Ya Allah, open the doors of your mercy on me. Why is that? They say the following. There is not a bounty, a gift that Allah can give you. Allah give you physical strength, wealth, spouse, children, give you a lot of good things. Physical gifts. Gifts. Whatever you're gifted, you're smart. Even if He gives you that gift but withholds the mercy, He doesn't give you His mercy with it, that very gift turns into a curse. And how often do you see people around it with gifts? They're smart, but they end up misusing it. They destroy with it. Don't we see this? They oppress with it. They become arrogant with it because there's no mercy from Allah, because they're arrogant. Right? So there is not a bounty or gift that Allah can give you, but His mercy is not with it, except that it turns into a curse for you. And there is not a difficulty, a withholding. Allah took something away from you, or give you a problem, test, but He sent you the mercy of the problem, except that it is a blessing and a bounty. Does it make sense? So you feel like you don't have wealth, you don't have this, but Allah's mercy is there. And we'll explain how. So how do you feel that, right? We'll talk about it. But I just want you to pay attention that even if there is a problem, right, a seemingly difficult trial, but the mercy of Allah is coming down with it, it's a good thing and it's a blessing. Better than that curse. It's His mercy, brothers and sisters, that will turn even the difficulties and the constrictions into ease. Even if you have. Remember when we spoke about the example of being in an ocean? But you're at ease. The problem is still there, but you're at ease. You're in absolute ease, and it's because the mercy of Allah is there for you. He sends His mercy. So Allah, through His mercy, brothers and sisters, can change the condition of what? Is it your mind or your heart? Your heart. All He has to do is make you feel what? At ease. Make you feel comfortable. Make you feel relieved. Even though you're swimming in the turbulence of the ocean. Even though you still have no job. Even though the truth has not been revealed. Even though, etc., etc., you still have your problem with your mother or father or whoever. It's still there. But I feel better. Because the mercy of Allah has come down. So all that Allah has to do is open the door of mercy on your heart, and He'll send it into a condition of instant relief, tranquility, and comfort. It's a sign of the mercy of Allah. But on top of it, even better illustration of Him opening the gate of mercy is not only will He open the gate of mercy, but He'll make your heart see what? So I'm sensing it. I feel relieved. You know, I'm in a problem. The problem has not been solved, but I feel better. I feel like, you know when you feel optimistic? In the middle of hopelessness, you start feeling optimistic. Where did that come from? That's a sign of the relief of Allah. But the problem is still there. But what's even better than that? That I not only feel relieved and I feel better, but that I connect this feeling to who? To who? Oh, it's Allah who gave me that. It's Allah's mercy. That He makes your heart see that it is the mercy of who? Allah. That's the biggest. See, He already sends us mercies, but we don't connect the dots and we don't see that it's from Allah. The biggest sign, brothers and sisters, or the biggest relief from Allah, or the biggest mercy of Allah, that He makes your heart feel that it's the mercy from Allah that came to you. Because once He says, oh, it's Allah has opened the door, and He's making me feel this, now you feel the company of Allah with you. Is there anything that can make you feel bad now or afraid? Nothing. Nothing. I was reading a story of somebody who was in prison. Speaking of this experience in this verse, he said, I'm in prison. Yeah, actually on death row. Oppressed man from overseas. Wrongly executed. Like, he's actually written books and tafsirs. Right? Locked up in prison. He said he was commenting on this verse. He says, I was in darkness, waiting execution, oppressed, tortured. I read this verse and I asked, Ya Allah, open the doors of mercy for me. All I need is your doors of mercy to open, because I read this verse, he says. I never saw it, he said. And instantly something happened in my heart. Transformation from hopelessness to hope. Constriction to relief. Even though I was still in the middle of what? The problem. See, the problem didn't change. The condition, the physical thing, he still ended up getting executed by it, just to let you know. But his name, subhanAllah, like, you know, is like, I mean, my point is that his legacy stayed. He's still executed, but his legacy stayed. That's not the point. The point is, physically nothing changed, but he said the change occurred where? In my heart. I felt in paradise in my own heart. Total relief. I was, even though the guards were the ones who were afraid, and I'm the prisoner, I was the one giving them hope. How does that happen? He says, I sensed the mercy of Allah. And it was only when I felt the torrent of the mercy of Allah coming on my heart, I felt so relieved. And I felt so sure. I felt so confident. And I felt so relieved. Even though nothing has changed in Arabic, and it didn't matter. Nothing mattered. Because I sensed who? Allah's mercy. Brothers and sisters, pay attention to this verse. Wallahi, once I read this story, I'm like, how is I not asking for this? That's why Allah says, مَا يَفْتَحْ. He says, pay attention. It's the most precious treasure you can ask for, that I open for you the door to the ultimate treasure called mercy. If it comes to you, it doesn't matter what you go through. Don't worry. I'm going to make you sense that the mercy of Allah has come to your rescue. And you're going to feel good. And you're going to feel hope. And you're going to feel confidence. And you're going to see. Your heart is going to see. It's going to be firm. It's going to be strong. It's going to be full of hope. And you yourself become like that man, a source of hope for who? Others. You know, people who are hopeful, optimistic, you notice they always have this energy that they exude, that transforms others. So Allah starts changing other people through you. Oh, when this happens, yes. So what's the lesson of this verse? And I really want to conclude with it. Oh Allah, use the same terms, iftah. Open for me the doors. Which doors? Before anything else. To your mercy. Ya Allah, open the gates of your mercy to me. That's all I want. Wallahi, brothers and sisters. There's another verse. Speaking about the pleasure. Talk about a closure right now. The verse doesn't come. Allah open. Right. Try to remember it. I cannot remember the verse. I can remember the meaning of it. Allah says, tell them that if they were to be happy with something, let them be happy with what? The mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. That's it. That's it. That if there's something you should be happy about, of all things that Allah could possibly give you, the thing you should be most happy with is that Allah is merciful with you. And that you get the special mercies. And the message is, again, ask for the special mercy. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, this is the creator of the heavens and the earth. If He decides to be merciful with you, you're set. Set. In this world and the hereafter. Because how can He withhold the mercy? Remember, when He opens it, It's a floodgate. He's not going to close it. Don't worry. It will not close. All he has to decide is, I love you and I'm going to open it for you. And when the mercy becomes the manifestation of all the blessings and the bounties and all the things that we desire. It's summed up in one word, mercy. Remember, think of a king who says, I love you and I'm going to show you my mercy. What are they going to do for you? They're going to shower you with gifts. So mercy is symbolic of some treasures. Not just, I feel for you. No. It's blessings, treasures opening up. But most important, treasures of the heart on this earth. Wait until you see the mercy of Allah the hereafter for you. All that has to happen is for Him to open. And Allah opens it. What is standing between us and that? You ask. Can you imagine? When human beings, we have to beg. Allah says, I'm telling you right here, I open it. And I want you to invoke me and ask me to open it. If you show me that you appreciate this treasure, I'll open it for you. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, nothing stands between you and Allah opening the door of mercy for you, except that you do what? Wallahi, with sincere humility, sit down and raise your hands. Say, Allah, I appreciate this more than anything else. Just open. I don't need anybody else. I don't care what happens to me. I don't care what people say about me. I don't care. All I need is your mercy. Because if I have your mercy, even if I have problems, I'm okay. I know I'm going to feel it in my heart. Allah will make you taste it, brothers and sisters. Will make you see. But ask for this before anything else. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, wallahi, your life will change. That Allah allows your heart to see His mercy and appreciate it, and make you sense it, and then make you ask for it, because you've tasted it. Go visit this verse again, verse number 2, in Surah Al-Fattah. Treasure in the Quran. See how the Quran is alive? Imagine we didn't have this verse. How would we know? See, I'm just using an example right here. Remember? Quran is the light to make your heart see. If I didn't know about this, how will I know what to ask Allah for? How will I know what will heal my heart? Here's Allah telling you what will heal your heart. His mercy. See, very simple. See the connection between the names of Allah Azza wa Jal. Al-Fattah. Rest assured, brothers and sisters, Al-Fattah, the one who opens all closed doors, is walking next to you in this life. Decided to bring you into this existence. He's not going to abandon you. Don't be afraid and don't worry. I don't care what closures you have in your life. Don't worry. Relief is there. Openings are there. All you have to do is invoke Allah. And don't forget all the times that Allah has saved you. But don't forget about the most significant opening, which is an opening where? Because He can open all the physical gifts and let you have them. But if He shuts off your heart, because His mercy is not there, all of these things will turn into a curse for you. Might as well give up everything, but have the opening in your heart. Ask as the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Allah, make us see the truth as truth, falsehood as false. Ya Allah, open the doors of mercy for us. Ya Allah, don't make us among those who are deprived of your mercy. All I want, Ya Allah, is to show me, make me feel your mercy. Because it's a sign of you being next to me. And I know you're next to me. Talk to Allah, brothers and sisters. Wallah, inshallah, Allah will open doors. I'll end here, inshallah. And I'll open the floor for questions, comments, inshallah, anything that you wish to share. Especially if something has hit home for you, personal experience, something stood out, please share, inshallah.